It's the first Friday of the month, so you know what that means. It's time for Eye on Terre Haute. We're joined now by Mayor Duke Bennett to see what's going on in the city this month. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good to be here, Abby.
So let's talk a little bit about the railroad corridor study. You had a public information meeting. Tell us how that went.
Well, it went really well. It was well attended. There was a lot of diverse thoughts and questions when we got to the end, and kind of the process has been, we've been looking at a lot of the things that most of us know what the issues are, but you've got to go through this process to make sure that we haven't missed anything or not identified some things that are really important to certain people. And one of the things that I think was a theme the other night, which we knew was a problem but seemed to be even a bigger problem, is the horns. You know, you hear the train horns all the time. And there's some things you can do about that over time to reduce the amount, whether you reduce the number of crossings there are or put in no horn zones. And it was just interesting how there were several people in that group that was their biggest concern. They live by the railroad tracks. They can deal with the trains, but they can't stand the horns blowing all night. So I think, you know, you just have to keep working through this process to make sure you're covering all the bases. The meeting went great, a lot of feedback, we presented a lot of information. I think what's most important though, people need to remember this is the beginning steps.
Exactly.
And we've never done a formal plan before, and out of this plan will come, you know, a list of projects, and then we'll begin to implement those projects over time as they're funded. And so this is just the first step to get us all on the same page and then turn them into doable projects.
What were some of the key areas that people were like, hey, this is a big problem area with congestion and that sort of thing?
Well, 19th and Margaret is always the one at the top of the list. We hear about that one all the time. The downtown track, you know, there's a lot of issues, and there's lots of reasons why the trains stop and slow down. 19th and Maple, but also 25th up in that area where the tracks cross. That Duane yard on the north end, and it all depends when they're switching and whether there's railroad track repairs going on. So you've got all these factors, but there's always some hot spots in there. And that 13th and 8th Avenue area, the trains usually don't stop through there, but there's about 60 trains a day that cross that one intersection. And you know, it's near the hospital, and so you've got all these public safety issues too. And so we really want to just step back and say, okay, what can we do pretty kind of immediately, some things to soften it and make it easier, but then what are our bigger projects that are really going to get us over, under, or whatever around the trains.
Now, are you talking with the railroad companies as well during this process?
And that's been the key to this whole thing. You know, back in 2008 when we first put the committee together, we included both CSX and the railroad, because you can't be adversarial to them. We have to work with them. And so, you know, it's their property, it's their private enterprise, so how can we make it work better with our citizens?
And about once you had a public meeting this week, and then when is the next one? The
next one will be in November. So the consultants will continue to work. They'll take that feedback we received last night. We'll continue to vet a lot of these potential projects and hone that plan in. So by the end of the year, we'll roll the plan out and hopefully get it adopted by some of our local government entities, and then begin the process of doing some things. So in November will be the kind of the wrap-up public meeting.
Okay, switching gears, we have a big holiday coming up this week. The 4th of July holiday weekend is coming up. Lots of activities going on in Terre Haute.
You know, it's always an exciting time. It's kind of the, you know, when you get to the 4th of July, everybody thinks summer and just kind of the excitement of just doing some fun things. And, you know, down at Fairbanks Park, we'll have our traditional fireworks celebration at night. Encourage everybody to come out. There'll be music and you know, food vendors and a great fireworks display. You know, of course, downtown, then early in the morning, we'll have the fast track mile that I'm running in this year.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
I've been working on it for a couple of months, so I'm going to run that 1 mile. And then the Horsemen's Association puts on the parade downtown. So, you know, we encourage everybody to have a fun and enjoyable holiday, and be careful out there, but, you know, have fun with the 4th of July and our Independence Day celebration in Terre Haute.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and happy 4th of July to you, and good luck in that race. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Well, if you'd like to see this segment again, or you have a segment idea of your own, go to our website at WTHI-TV.com and click on the community page.